So this is a short little tutorial on working with the direct selection tool. You can see I have like 4 different exercises when we're moving different points around kind of thing. We're actually using the shapes here, using the lines, rotating, and creating a shape from a ladder. So this will look like when you're finished, right? So let's go back to Photoshop. Again, we're going to click on this direct selection tool on this assignment, and then we're going to download that. And then we're just going to click on this when it opens up. And it should open up in our Photoshop assignment, our Illustrator. Sorry, and this one we're going to follow the instructions. So I'm going to see here it says draw a box and the red line lines. And we're just use the direct selection tool. Oh, so I can remove the fill and then we'll use the pen tool with midpoints to use the points. Okay, and so on the row. So we're actually going to start with actually creating a rectangle. Okay, right here over the red lines. Now what I'm going to do is actually swap. This needs to be see-through so that I can see. It doesn't really change anything. But now if I turn it off, you can see actually when I go to the direct selection tool and I have to click on this point once to make it active. Now I can click and drag it to different. I'll zoom in to that a little bit. So click on it once to make it active. Now I can click and drag that point out and see if it's solid here. Then I won't be able to see that different things. So you can just actually leave it uh, not field limit thing. So I think we're just click on this point, move that up here to this point. And I click on this, move it up here again to this blue line, and click on this, move it out to the blue line. Now what we're gonna do is actually talks about here it says using the pen tool at midpoints to box sides. So we need to have 2 different sides here. So we're gonna go to the pen tool and we're gonna go to the edge here. It's just our little plus sign underneath our plane. So we can just add a point there and then add a point here. So now we're going to direct selection tool, click on this once. Now click and drag that little point, should come out here, and then click and drag this point. So click once and then click and drag this point out here. So I can move that point a little bit more. There, okay. Now I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Now what you want to do is hit the selection tool and then just want to swap those. So it should be filled in with solid black and then have a stroke of nothing. So let's go over to the next one, okay? So this one we're actually going to draw a line. So we're going to start with the pen tool here, and we're going to click on this anchor point. So we're going to actually draw the red lines. So I'm going to click and drag straight down. If I hold the shift down, then it drags a straight line. And then I click in the middle and click and drag it straight up. So it's going to, we can actually adjust that a little bit later. So we're going to try to get the red line. And then just try and get it. Click and then click and drag out. So okay, now we're going to do is hit the escape key to get it to go away, to not on my mouse anymore. Now click on the selection tool. Now I can click swap because I want the stroke to be black and the fill to be nothing. So then I can actually modify those a little bit. So I can click on this last point here, click on it, and now it gives me the handlebars. And so that way I can move that around. That looks good. This one I can come down maybe a little bit. Click on this point here. Now I click and drag that handlebar, like it down a little bit. About right here. Maybe this one goes up a little bit. So that way I actually have it on that little point there. Now I can click and drag the actual point to the blue line. It should match up. And click, and I can drag that point up to the blue line. Okay. Now I click on the selection tool again. And I click off just to deselect everything. So I want to click on the line again. And it talks about we need to actually, the finished line should be blue. Yeah, on the blue. So we change the stroke to green and the stroke weight to 5 points. So we're going to change the stroke down here, stroke to green, and then I'm going to change it to 5 points. So again, it's like that. Okay. And I'm going to screw that down. Let's go to this one right here. Okay. So this is actually going to rotate the shape one. We're going to draw a circle and then draw around a rectangle on that. So we're going to click on the rect ellipse tool. Then I'm going to draw off the center point here. This is a center point. Now I'm going to drag out a little bit. Oh, I need to change some things. Let's click on the selection tool and delete that. Okay, so now I need to actually just click on default. Okay, that's what that default was. It goes back to the black and white stroke. So now I'm going to click on a ellipse tool from the center point. Now I'm just dragging out, but I want to drag from the, I'll hold the shift key down to create a perfect circle, and then I'll hold the alt key down to draw a circle there. Oh, I'll delete that because I need to try it again. So from center point, shift and alt key, hold it down together at the same time while I'm dragging my mouse. And then I'm going to create a little circle here. So now I've got that circle. Okay. And now I'm going to hold this down and grab the rounded rectangle tool. So now click on the center point here. Center point. Now again, hold the shift and alt key together. And then I can drag out to the very edge here. So it's kind of large here, but I'm just going to click on the selection tool and this handlebar and drag that down right there. And click and drag this handlebar in to drag it about right there. So, okay. And is it right there? And so now I can click on, yeah, to have that still selected. Now we're going to actually, that little rounded rectangle tool, we're going to rotate it up. So rotate up to this blue line. So click on the rotate tool. And then hold my alt key down because I'm actually, this little blue target here is where it's rotating from. I need to rotate from the center point of the circle. Okay, so I'm going to rotate from the center point of the circle here. So I clicked once and I let go of my mouse. Now it gives me this little dialog box. Gives me the rotate tool. And talk about I want it 90 degrees, so 90. And I can click on this preview, this checkbox, and it shows me that's what it looked like. Okay. Now I just click copy because I don't want to actually rotate it. I want to create a copy of that rotation. So click copy here, and it's going to rotate it. Now I can click on my selection tool, and I just want to make sure that's over there, just lined up there. And the last thing I got to do is just rotate, just drag it up here. Okay. And the last little part says this circle needs to be filled in with purple. So this circle, you're going to fill in with purple, and the stroke can be set to nothing. This little shorthand, it says it's red, so I'm going to change that shorthand right here. That fill needs to be red, and stroke can be nothing. Okay, this last long, so this last long hand needs to change to blue, so change it to blue here, and the stroke can be nothing. And like this. Now I actually go over to the last little bit here. Sorry. Now this is actually going to create a letter. So I'm going to click on the type tool up here. Type tool. Now going on here to the let's see. Oh, it deselect everything. So sorry. Click on the type tool now, and now it gives you options to change this. So I can just go from my. Now actually, this talks about I use the Gill Sans 336. So I can type in Gill Sans right here, and they're going to type in 336, enter. Now it's going to have the, now click, oh, I'm sorry, I need to click on this, and it's going to give me so I'm going to type in the letter F, so shift F, and it's going to give me the F key right there. I click on the selection tool and move that down where the red little dashed lines are for this F. Okay. So now what I do, if I try to use the direct selection tool on this, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to change anything. So it's not going to show me the little points there. But what I need to do is make outlines. So I'm going to create type and create outlines. So click back on the selection tool. It's got that selected, and click on type right here. and then create outlines. So now it has little points. It actually is an object now. So it's not editable type anymore. I can't change it to a different letter. So now it's actually an object. So I can go back to the direct selection tool, and I need to click on those little points like I did before, the shape, to drag it out to those different points. So I'm going to create a letter E from this letter F. Click once, and I can click and drag. So click once to select that point. So now it's been selected. Now I can click and drag it out here. Click once, drag it out here. Click once, and drag it out to the blue lines. So you just do that a few times. Okay. Drag it out here. And this one, click once and drag it out here. Now we're going to do it. I need to add 2 points on it. So just like we did before, click on the pen tool on the very edge of the line. It says have a little plus sign underneath it. If I click out here, it's going to create a new line. I'm going to click on the plus sign, and it's going to add a point there. And I'm going to click on the line here. It's going to add a point there. Now I'm going to use the direct selection tool to move this point down to the bottom there. Move this point. Click once and move that. Oh, okay, it's kind of close there. So I move this point out of the way. So this comes out here. It was just really close. So I couldn't see him for a minute. So then this point, click once, and I can drag it out here. Okay, so that should finish it. I've actually just created those different things there, and now I need to save it. And then click on File and save as. Right, so I'm going to save to my computer. And yes, I'm going to save as the working with direct selection. Click and save, and yes, that's fine. And say OK. Now I can go back to Canvas and click on the direct selection tool and click on Start Assignment. And it has to do, I have to turn in a Illustrator file. So click on this and download, click on the working with selection tool and click on Open and click Submit. And that should finish it. Thanks for watching.